Hello and welcome to another episode on the Reloaded server. We're up to episode 7 and I have a big problem. You see, over the last little while I've just been dumping things into chest after chest after chest after chest after chest, and it's really getting to the point where I can't find anything in here. I'm pretty sure there's a few totems of undying in here that I need to find. There's a few bits and bots of black stone and glass and all sorts of things that I really need to find. And this, if we just take a flight, isn't even half of the mess. You see, my base mates have been dumping a lot of stuff into a huge chest monster over here, and they even built a huge bit of a building over here just to store it. So if I can find the entrance down to here, a fair number of these chests are filled with random junk. And today we're going to sort out that problem. We're going to be making ourselves a big storage system, fully automated in sorting, to get rid of all these chest monsters and hopefully be able to find stuff when we actually need it. So I am thinking that I'm going to put that all the way in our volcano over here, which is going to mean a little bit of, well, actually building the volcano, as well as finding a good sorting system. Now, I was doing a bit of research online, as well as asking a few questions, and this design seems to be one that looks pretty well. Obviously, it's not quite complete. It needs a ice path to go all the way around the top, which is going to be a little bit laggy, I think, once it's got lots of items going through. But hopefully, it should sort a lot quicker. It should also mean a far fewer hoppers going through, which is going to reduce the lag. So, what I want to do first is to figure out where I want this stuff and what goes down each column. So I'm going to figure that out now and then see how we go. Now, due to space limitations, most especially the way the volcano is being built around this, I really can't do too many things on this side, and probably on this side as well, and when it gets to it over there as well. So I'm thinking that this section and this section are going to be used for just single things and things that can't go into sorters very easily. And then this side, possibly just mob drops, since I don't need to keep a lot of those on hand. I can just use a small one like this. And then in the middle we're going to go with our main sorting blocks, the woods and stones, the nether blocks, and possibly some coloured items. And then back here we're going to work on that when we get to it. So I think the next thing to do is actually start on the sorter itself. So what I think I should do is build a fair chunk of these going out, all the way up to here, and possibly coming back, a column coming back down this side as well. And then we'll see what we're going to do with the middle section. Well, after about an hour of building, I've got myself the storage system. I did have numerous attempts of forgetful magpies trying to ruin it all, but I do have the sorting storage, which has, I think it's 53 double chests in just one line. So I've got 150 over here and 150 which are not quite linked up over here, which I think, if my math is quick enough to calculate while I'm doing this, 54 times 150 is too many for me to count. So yeah, there's a lot of storage, and that is probably going to be woods and stones. And if we do on the same over here and here, we're going to have a lot of storage. So on the top, I believe, goes an ice path, or not just ice path, and I need to get myself some ice and a few other bits and bobs from the storage, from the big storage where you have to buy stuff at the shops. Now, I probably should mention that this build is not actually mine. It's by a guy called Black Belt Panda, I think. So I'm going to put if I remember, I'm going to put a link to their video in the description of mine. But what I've got now is the water streams that go all the way around to end, and they can go off in that direction, but they currently just go in this segment alone. I'm thinking I'm going to have 2 water segments. So this side will have one continuous path, and so will this side. Now what I've done over here is remove the old item sorter that I have here, because I plan to just have unsorting chests over here, and to put some kind of item elevator. So I think I need to put in a couple of dropper systems or dispenser systems, as well as where is it? I need those observer things and a water elevator kind of thing, just to prop it up to here and then send it all the way through, and then at the very least the water stream will be done, and then I can start getting started on the sorter itself and the item where I want the items to go to. So one of the things we're not allowed on this server is constantly running hopper clocks or any kind of clock that just consistently goes all the time. So what we've got here is a kind of clock that will only detect when items are in here, get powered by this will get pushed up, making a observer clock, and then that would then power the dropper to pull things in. So if we drop a couple of, let's go dispensers in there, it'll drop them. And my thinking is, if I have two of them going at the same time, something like that, and you build another one of those over here, that should work just as well to put in two sets of items into the hopper stream at the same time. I was thinking 3, but that might not work too well, so we'll see how we go, but 2 for the time being should power us quite nicely. The other idea I had is if I had the 2 chests over these these hoppers here, it's going to actually drain it more, but then I've realized that even if I put in 2 sets of 2 like that, it's only going to be picking up 1 from here, because that's as fast as it can go. So the idea is good in theory, it's just going to drain it into the hoppers faster, but it really is limited by the number of hoppers, hence why I've got 2 of these things here. So now it's just a matter of building up this tower up to here, which shouldn't be too much harder, and then I should have a system that works finally. Well, I think you can see this thing is properly working. We've got ourselves all of the hoppers are feeding into here, and both of the dispenser things are all loaded, and we can see over here that we've got ourselves a fair chunk of things going here. This is mostly the stone and ore varieties. I'm thinking, and I've been chatting with the rest of my group, that we're just going to be doing the main things along a couple of the main channels, and then some of the other sides can do the more niche things like polished blackstone or something that we don't need to sort into places that have 3 high chests. Now a bit more time has passed, and I've got myself a little bit more of a decorated storage system. I've just gone through and used a really reasonably simple pattern over here. Those long-term viewers of my channel will know I used this pattern back in one of the seasons when I was playing on Outlanders. So I think this works quite well, and I'm going to replicate it across other places here, and of course over here. Now over here I've got the problem that I don't have enough space to put in a full sorter, so what I'm thinking here is I'm going to put the weapons and other bits, although I might be able to put a small sorting bit over here. It's going to depend if I can fit it in and how many it can go, so probably only to about maybe here or so, and then I'm going to have to fill in, maybe do a bit of a path across to there to finish it up. And that might be my redstone or something, but over here will be weapons, picks, swords, and everything else. So I think I might go and collect that from the storage over there, and then build up the sorter. Now I've gone ahead and built all the storage for this area, except I decided to make the areas only 2 chests high, but that comes with the consequence of this being 1 block lower, and it means that I've been unable to figure out how to get this to figure out to jump up to here very nicely. I have tried playing around with it for quite a bit. If we try just something like that and put the block in, I'm actually missing a water source block, but that would come into here and it would come along and get stuck there, which is definitely not what I want. In fact, I might just quickly demonstrate it one last time, and let's just quickly jump back up. Hopefully I've still got the glass to recover this thing the way it was. There we go, 8 blocks of glass. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, that should do. And if I toss in the cobblestone somewhere along here, like so, actually for some reason it's not quite lining up. There we go. There we go, that's better. You can see it just gets stuck there and it gets stuck on here. So what I think I will do is I'm going to rebuild the entire thing so it's just 3 blocks and everything is at 3 blocks high, and that's going to work a lot better. And a little bit of time later of building, I've got myself a little bit more storage. So I've got the mob drops all done with 5 more slots ready to go. I don't really have the space to do another one because of the way I had to design the iron and ice paths. But you can see, so I've got armor and ores as well as redstone over here. Now there's still hundreds of blocks left to go, but I think I'm going to do that mostly off camera because it's just going to be a bit not quite as fun for me just to be doing the same thing, building this ice path all the way around. But over time this thing is going to expand into other blocks as well. And I also decided to put in some of the nether blocks. Now I believe Gomer has left me a message, so if we just quickly eat and get over there. And I don't know what to put on this sign. I guess he really didn't. Dearest Magpies, I can see that you have started the storage system, which was kind of built actually earlier. I do have a question to pass on to you. Should we add a shulker loader and or unloader to store more and be able to faster drop off items? Possibly. I haven't never really built one of those. I do think a shulker unloader could be easily added, but a loader would require some designing. So I believe, if I'm not wrong, a shulker loader would do just one of these things, so I could possibly redesign some of these. I think the ones I've got most of are stone, cobblestone and blackstone, and everything else really could just go in a single chest. So possibly do something like that over here maybe, because this area is kind of dead space, especially since it's going to end pretty quickly. So that would mean that you would have to remember that the stone and cobblestone would not be able to go into the main sorters, so maybe a little bit more redesigning and rethinking on the entire idea of how I'm doing the storage would be a good idea. One last thing before I sign off for today, I have just been slowly, ever so slowly, going through this huge chest monster, which actually isn't that big because most of the chests are actually empty, but I've been slowly going through all of these chests, slowly emptying and dumping the stuff into the storage system, and I'm glad to say that most of these chests are actually empty. I just happened to cross one that wasn't, but you can see most of these are empty, and I'm hoping that in a little while I'll be able to demolish all of these chests, and hopefully the main storage will be back in my little volcano, and my base mates will be able to stop using this as just a dumping ground, which is actually very annoying. And with that, we're going to say thank you very much for watching. I hope we'll see you in the next one, in which we've got some big plans that involve the Games District. Till then, see you later. Bye!